Coming up, hear from both sides on one of the most controversial topics today, Leah Thomas.
And then learn why millions of people across the country are leaving their jobs.
And in sports, discover how one former UNO hockey player is living out his dream of going pro.
All this and more in the Omaha News. There's one collegiate swimmer that's been splashed in recent national headlines. Her name is Leah Thompson. Good afternoon, I'm Liam Fenwick.
And I'm Maria Consbrook. UNO's director of the Office of Student Life says women's rights are inclusive of trans women's rights, but reporter Pauline Dulang says some locals are questioning where we draw a line.
Representing the University of Pennsylvania, Leah Thomas is the first openly transgender athlete to win an NCAA Division I national championship. Thomas gained attention back in December, posting nation-leading times in the 200 and 500 freestyles, sparking debate between values of fairness versus inclusion and whether or not those two are mutually exclusive. However, both men and women produce unique levels of estrogen and testosterone. Former Doane University soccer player Matt Jones says a lot of collegiate athletes feel torn. He says the conversation becomes complicated very quickly, making it difficult to reach a formal stance on the matter.
Knowing that she had been through puberty before making that transition, she might have had some kind of benefit or advantage.
UNO's director for the Office of Student Life says they have policies and procedures in place to protect trans folks on campus, but there's a constant push and pull between First Amendment rights and diversity and inclusion.
There's a huge elephant on every queer and trans person on this campus because they see how the world is not accepting them. So I see that in our students on a day-to-day basis.
Hitchens continues to say that Thomas meets the hormone requirements set forth by the NCAA. She says people are quick to jump on the bandwagon without doing proper research on how the body reacts to hormone therapy, and that since Thomas has lower levels of testosterone, she must work harder to build muscle than her female competitors. For the Omaha News, I'm Pauline Dulang.
Hitchens says to be aware of local and statewide policies implemented by Nebraska legislature. Due to the local governance, she says Omaha is technically a safe place for trans and queer people to live, but that can be quickly changed based on who is elected.
The war in Ukraine has taken a tragic turn. The 6 burned and blackened corpses were discovered in Bucha. This is the latest horrific scene to emerge from Ukraine as the world leaders push for Russia to be held accountable, including for possible war crimes. It was not clear who the people were or under what circumstances they were killed. President Zelensky has accused Russian military forces of performing genocide.
Juneteenth is a celebration in which African Americans were granted their freedom from slavery. Reporter Nicholas Perry takes us to the home of the new route for this year's Juneteenth parade.
For the last 2 years, the Juneteenth parade has been canceled. This year, the parade has a new location here on 24th and Lake Street within the deep roots of the African American community.
This celebration over the country and in Omaha has evolved into a celebration beyond the one dimension to a celebration of the African American culture.
The African American culture that is celebrated on Juneteenth besides the emancipation of slavery includes the arts, music, components of written and visual art, and much more. Juneteenth was founded on June 19, 1865, after President Abraham Lincoln's Declaration of Emancipation proclamation reached Texas and all slaves were granted their freedom. Moving the parade to North 24th and Lake Street recognizes Preston Love Sr. on his legacy of a jazz musician and his impact on growing Nebraska overall. Others like Love Sr. will also be recognized at the parade.
This year's Juneteenth parade will be the first year the parade is held as a federal holiday. The theme will focus on legends and legacies across the Omaha community.
Following the parade, operational manager at nonprofit Freedom Team, Calvin Williams, encourages attendants to stick around after the parade.
After the parade, we try to draw people to the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, so African American people can have a place to celebrate their heritage.
Although a key cultural point for African Americans, Preston Love Jr. adds the concerning issues of North Omaha's past.
We have also had some of the dark side of the humanity.
This dark history of North Omaha includes the 1919 lynching of unjustly accusation of Will Brown in the race riots in Omaha during the Red Summer. Love mentions that North Omaha still holds marvelous history.
This year's relocation will serve as a better impact and more relevant to the African American community. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Nick. What was once known as South Roads Mall is now what kids are calling school. Reporter Maria Consberg tells us about a new bond issue for Omaha Public Schools and how it's affecting local elementary schools.
It's different, but it's still school, says the students at Spring Lake Magnet Elementary. Spring Lake switched locations to what was once a JCPenney in January 2022 because of renovations taking place at their old school. Spring Lake Magnet principal Katie Catlett says moving during the middle of the year is tough.
But one of the best parts about that is they kept their same teacher from there to here. It was really funny to hear all of their thoughts about what they thought was going to happen.
A two-phase bond program was issued for OPS to provide improvements to current schools. Phase 1 was approved in 2014 and has since been completed, while Phase 2 was approved in 2018.
The Spring Lake Elementary School scope of work includes a new addition and capital improvements of the existing building. The plan provides for a 10-classroom addition to alleviate overcrowding, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system updates, along with other improvements to increase building system efficiencies.
Construction Administrator Brad Boganowski says the second phase is underway.
We have completed 11 of the 25 school projects with 5 additional schools substantially complete in the next 90 days, represented by the green area of the pie chart. Roughly 54% of our project schools are in the midst of the construction phase.
The staff and faculty did everything they could to reassure students about the move by answering any questions they had about the new location.
One time, one of the kids asked me, "Miss, are you going to the new school with us?" I was like, "Yeah, baby, I'm not staying here with the construction people. I'm going with you."
Catlett says moving locations has come with its challenges, but Spring Lake is finding ways to adapt and acquaint themselves with their new environment.
Students, faculty, and staff will remain at South Roads Mall for a year and a half before returning to their new and improved school. After the break, we'll explore the Black Box Theater Project's mission to preserve the performing arts in North Omaha.
Coming up, learn about the Great Resignation and the people who say there should be a greater focus on workers' mental health.
There's a unique educational experience right here in Omaha. With access to top-rated programs, in-demand degrees, and a worldwide community of graduates, UNO prepares students for life, wherever it may lead. From Omaha to Italy to Uganda to Japan, Mavericks are working in communities around the globe. So where will a degree from UNO take you? UNO, access to exceptional, access to the world. Learn more at unomaha.edu.
Yeah, my name is Anna Bellinghausen. I'm one of the founders and the president of Women in Media Club, and I just want to be known as a person that would do anything to get a woman in the door anywhere. I want to be known as someone that paved the way for young women before me and that honored and respected the women that came before.
What I really like about this club is it's a really safe space. It's a space that allows us to do whatever, simply so we can benefit ourselves and also benefit the university that we go to.
There needed to be a door to open for these women, just something that they can easily go to, and that's the Women in Media Club.
People across the country leave their jobs in record numbers. Reporter Crystal Quao in Studio A investigates why employees say good riddance to their jobs.
Ranks lower than Nordic countries in 2022's World Happiness Report. A business management student at UNO says the Great Resignation makes sense because times are changing and people want more from their jobs. Over 70 million people have left, stepped down, or been laid off their jobs since last February. The stat includes people who've separated from their jobs more than once over the last year. This phenomenon is the Great Resignation. Tiki Nijaks, a mom and full-time bartender, stepped down to be a part-time manager. She's aspiring to be a business owner. She says when she becomes an owner, she'll want to work among her employees.
And I want to hear them, I want to feel, I want to make their experiences better so that they stay a long time.
Najak says she and her coworkers want to be where they work because their workplace loves them back.
Work should be like a family.
Critics say there should be a divide between work and family. Parker Krieg, an instructor who worked in Finland for 3 years, says Nordic countries have a shorter work week, so people are able to spend time with their family.
And I think because organized labor isn't as strong in the United States, you end up with things like the Great Resignation, where people don't have a way of, organizing to make their own workplaces better.
Krieg says the conversation goes beyond work culture. It involves labor unions' power to negotiate work terms and conditions. He says Finland has shorter work weeks because of greater support for health, housing, and education, which creates greater mobility for all. Now, Amazon has high employee turnover. However, on April 1st, Amazon workers voted to form the company's first labor union in its history. They're now unionized at a Staten Island warehouse. They say their goal is to have a safer and more equitable workplace. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Crystal. The Union for Contemporary Art and Lund-Ross Constructors are working together on the Black Box Theater project. Reporter Mars Johnson says North Omaha's historic F.J. Carey Block building being renovated for the project is over 100 years old.
The $5.5 million Black Box Theater project is meant to preserve history, create a space for community, and expand the Union for Contemporary Arts Performing Arts program. The communications director for the Union, Patrick Manelli, says the program has outgrown its old space. Plays at the Union are often about North Omaha's history and lead to conversations.
It's exactly what we're about, really. Bringing people together to engage with art that asks critical questions and really is the beginning part of a larger conversation.
Manelli says the Union's Performing Arts program fulfills the organization's two missions: using the arts to inspire positive social change and being firmly rooted in contributing to North Omaha. The Union for Contemporary Art and Lund-Ross Constructors are wrapping up their search for contractors for the Black Box Theater project. The second and last meeting for contractors is done. These meetings are where contractors can bid on and find out about the project's needs. President of Lund-Ross Constructors, Scott Thompson, says the next steps include qualifying bids. Contractors will carry out their own unique contributions to the project.
A couple of the gentlemen that were here already were concrete subcontractors. One does some carpentry work. There's a painter here.
Thompson says Lund-Ross has done a lot of work in North Omaha, South Omaha, and the local community in general. For the Omaha News, I'm Mars Johnson.
Renovations are scheduled to start in May of 2022 and last about 1 year. The Union plans for production to start in the summer or fall of 2023, but there is nothing specific to share yet.
The Omaha City Council voted Tuesday night 5-2 to pass the ordinance limiting the health director's authority during a pandemic. Lindsay Hughes would have to get permission from the mayor and the city council to issue any public health mandates. The new procedure requires that the health director provides a recommendation to the mayor and city council when it comes to enacting a procedure like a health measure or mask mandate during public health emergencies. The recommendation will go to the mayor to be reviewed and then will be sent to the city council for a final vote. After the break, meet local voice actors who are making a worldwide impact on the entertainment industry.
Coming up in sports, Jordan visits with former UNO hockey player Taylor Ward and discusses what it's like living out his dream.
To the women who've paved the way.
To the women who paved the way.
You showed us we can be comfortable to be ourselves.
Comfortable to be ourselves.
Comfortable to be ourselves.
it doesn't always cut it just to do the same job that a man would do in that position, because we as women are judged differently.
That we can achieve anything we set our minds to.
Anything?
Anything we set our minds to.
Women are encouraged more. Women can see themselves in positions that they hadn't in the past. And there's a lot more role models.
Nebraska's finest, strongest, and most brilliant women.
International Women's Day means the whole world.
We honor you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Create your next adventure and travel the world at Omaha's award-winning Henry Dorley Zoo.
For me, it's about understanding the process of communication and what we learn through that process.
So something that you'll find within the School of Communication graduate program is that there is such a rich field of expertise.
I can think of no other discipline where we spend so much time focusing on not just one side of the conversation, but all sides of the conversation.
Not only do you get to work closely with other graduate students that come from all different walks of life, but you get to learn from graduate faculty that take those perspectives and help you grow yourself in a way that teaches you to be an academic, but also lets you be you in a really unique way.
I chose UNL very specifically, not just because I live here, I'm proud to represent here, but because I thought their program offered strengths that I didn't see in other programs.
In just a few hours, Omaha baseball faces off against the Nebraska Cornhuskers for the third time this season. Both teams have a chance to own the season series tonight. Reporter Avery Howard joins us live from the Tal Anderson press box for more insight on the in-state matchup.
Timmons this week, he credited their success they saw against Oral Roberts to their overall pitching performance. He said they just threw hard to contact and trusted their defense. He said this win this weekend has the team playing with some swagger and confidence heading into tonight against Nebraska. And Timmons said when this team plays loose, then that is when they are at their best. Although Omaha beat the Huskers the last time they were at Tal, Timmons acknowledged how Nebraska has been playing well lately and knows this matchup will be another tough game. In order to walk away with a win tonight, he said they will have to have timely hits and not give up free bases like they did this past weekend. However, the weather will have a pretty big impact on tonight's game. I'm sitting at Tal right now, and the wind and the rain have picked up immensely, and there's been a pretty big drop in temperature. When we talked to Coach Porter a few weeks ago, he talked about the huge impact the weather has and makes low-scoring games. So for Omaha, they have to make sure they take advantage of the chances they get and make sure they play clean defense against the Huskers tonight.
Thanks, Avery. Let's hope that rain slows down and we can get a ball game off tonight. And last fall, Omaha Volleyball secured its first regular season conference championship since becoming a Division I program. With the expectations on the rise, reporter Cody Harms has the 2022 season preview.
The Omaha Maverick volleyball team claimed a Summit League Conference High 3 individual awards during the 2021 season, including Setter of the Year, Sammy Clarkson. Clarkson says the key to keeping the winning momentum going during the spring season is simple.
We only have one transfer this year, but we're going to have some new freshmen coming in the summer. We want to have a strong culture of excellence and hard work, so that when we're going into the fall, that comes easily.
For Clarkson and her junior teammate, Rachel Fairbanks, this is their first spring season since joining the Mavericks because of COVID-19. Fairbanks says the pair didn't know what to expect, but both want to see growth from the team on and off the court.
You see everyone develop throughout their college career into
beautiful girls, and I'm excited to see where all of their careers take them.
Defending their crown next fall comes with a target on the team's back. Clarkson says winning the conference is huge, but makes her and her teammates even hungrier.
I think it just drives us harder to work, especially right now in the spring and in the summer. Before we can compete in the fall, we got to push hard in the last 5 minutes because that's where it matters in that 5th set. That's the difference between us winning the tournament or not.
Omaha will look to build off last season, but with every new year brings new challenges. Fairbanks says Summit League Coach of the Year Matt Buttermore's message to the team going into next season is to stay mentally and physically sharp.
We're embracing the butterflies, as he likes to say, so we know we've had a taste of that championship, but now we're embracing those butterflies that he says and moving forward.
For the Omaha News, I'm Cody Harms.
Since the Omaha hockey team saw its season end, 6 Mavericks signed professional contracts. Reporter Jordan McAlpine caught up with Taylor Ward, who is now playing in California for the Ontario Reign.
Scanlon again, deflected in. Taylor Ward's got the goal, and Omaha's going to get the victory in overtime.
After a successful college career, Taylor Ward has made his childhood dream a reality. It's been a whirlwind past 3 weeks, but he's now a professional hockey player in the Los Angeles Kings organization.
My life is a little bit all over the place right now, but I made it out here and I've been playing, so that always makes the adjustment easier when you can just kind of jump right into something. So it's been going well so far.
Obviously, the last 3 weeks have flown by for you, but I'm sure the last 4 years flew by too. If you look back at your time in Omaha, kind of reflect on your career as a Maverick.
I'm happy that I spent my 4 years there, and I couldn't envision going anywhere else. So I'm happy with how it went, and now it's time for the next chapter.
It's a feed from Ward, now drops it back. Ward shoots, got blocked wide.
That next chapter is off to a strong start. Ward is just 7 games into his pro career, and he's already picked up 5 assists. He's making an impact just like he did the past 4 years for the Mavericks. For the Omaha News, I'm Jordan McAlpine.
It's no surprise that Ward already finds himself playing on the Reign's top line. We'll surely keep a lookout for more pro Mavericks, and that's all we have for you in sports. Join us next week for more on the Crimson and Black.
Coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faded grass to a full.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime. Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it. Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
A proposed bill could eliminate the sales tax on feminine hygiene products in Nebraska. Senator Terrell McKinney of Omaha introduced the legislative bill AA1 that will exempt state sales tax from menstrual hygiene products. If the exemption takes effect this year, sales tax will stop being applied to tampons, panty liners, menstrual cups, sanitary napkins, and other related products. A Walgreens shopper, Michaela Trout, says she is in full support of the proposed bill.
Feminine hygiene products can be really expensive, and I don't think anyone should have to worry about
how they're going to get them, especially for people that just can't afford them. I think it's a step in the right direction for women.
If the bill does pass, Nebraska will join 20 other states that currently have no sales tax on feminine hygiene products.
Finally today, voice actors play an important part in many corporate and entertainment industries. Reporter Liam Fenwick shows us how local voice actors are making an impact worldwide.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Whoa, look out!
Katie Auden is a freelance voice actor. She says that she has worked with multiple international clients.
I have worked with a company in China. I've worked with a lot of companies across the U.S. Right now I'm doing pretty consistent educational work with a company in Australia.
According to Voices.com, voiceover actors' work is worth $4.4 billion, with approximately 19% of that value coming from North America. Auden says there are some challenges working as a voice actor.
Sometimes people running these projects are authors of a book, or they're game developers or something like that, and they don't necessarily have a background in directing. And so when they try to work with actors, it can be really tough sometimes to figure out what they're looking for.
Inexperienced clients is not the only issue for voice actors. Recently, the industry has been submerged with amateur voice talent.
Voiceover artist Joshua Mackey says that the industry has taken a negative turn recently.
The industry is kind of being flooded right now with people getting Fiverr accounts and various accounts like that. And
although the industry has seen an influx of competitors, Mackey says it could still be rewarding.
Just treat it with respect and be a professional. Yeah, definitely lucrative. If you just want to get a USB microphone and hop on Fiverr and get an account and try to make $1 million, it's probably not going to work out well for you.
Mackey goes on to say even after doing voice-over work for several years, he still gets excited before doing projects. That's all for today. Join us again next week for more news and entertainment in the Heartland.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UNO The Omaha News, or find us our website for even more news and stories at unomaha.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thanks for watching.
We will see you next time.
Calm down.
Welcome to the Omaha News. We are Omaha.
The complex was condemned by the city in January for numerous safety reasons.
We are truth tellers and award winners.
They process and recycle approximately 100,000 tons of material.
We are a community of strength and a team of big dreams. We are the Omaha News, where the people are the story.
You know, I'd always pretend to call the game, and it's like it was a lifelong dream of mine, and now that I'm starting to fulfill that dream, it's been awesome.
With the UNO School of Communication, your dream begins today.
Unbelievable experience. I'm extremely grateful that I get to do it.
And it is so exciting to see what they can do and what they want to do.
What can you say about your Maverick team?
The deadline is now.
It is the longest-running Omaha-based statewide television program on the air today. Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Wyatt, producer and host of Consider This. Now in our 25th season, we wish to acknowledge those who have made this educational journey possible. our guests, underwriters, student crews, the Knowledge Network, the University of Nebraska at Omaha, and of course, viewers just like you. Thank you for watching.